Most of our work has moved online, and the two words that have gained prominence in our lives are data storage and data protection. Storing the voluminous data that is generated by the seconds and protecting that data from getting in the wrong hands is extremely crucial for all of us. Moreover, now the internet is available to us at our fingertips, and there is proliferation of mobile apps. Our banking transactions, shopping, doctor appointments, as well as our teaching learning assignments are just waiting for a single tap on the mobiles. Keeping all these aspects in mind, we have organized this webinar on cybersecurity in collaboration with OPSPL Verna Goa. The resource person for the webinar is Mr. Jayesh Kumar, who is a senior trainee support engineer at OPSPL, and he has been training new recruits in the company. He has a wide experience in the digital world and is presently the server security in charge at OPSPL. Before I hand over the session to Mr. Jayesh Kumar, one final reminder to all the participants. If you have any questions, please post them in the YouTube chat box. Mr. Jayesh Kumar will answer all the questions at the end of the session. Now, I hand over the session to Mr. Jayesh Kumar. Thank you.
Hi everyone, thanks a lot for the wonderful introduction. So, as we know, from last decade, everyone is talking about cybersecurity. Companies are hiring security experts, ethical hackers to protect their network data from the cyber attacks. So today I'm gonna give you a short cybersecurity brief introduction about it. Yeah. So what is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity is the practice of defending computers, server, mobile, or any electronic device from malicious attacks. As you can see, nowadays everything is being a digital world. Yeah. So we need a protection from all the attacks, all the malicious attacks from the hackers and everything. So the cybersecurity is a key concept to defend our security from all of it. So why do I need to know about cybersecurity? All of us, we have a same question in our mind. Why do I need cybersecurity? What is to do with us? So guys, we are in a digital world where we have smartphones, smart cars, online banking. We have nowadays everyone have mobile phones. Now with the sensitive data banking apps that you are using on your phone, so you should know how to keep your data secure, your mobile secure, your all the data, all the devices secure. So just take an example. What a cyber crime or a hacker can do with you. A hacker can hack your mobile just like instantly. He can access to all your contacts, your data, your messages, everything. So just think about it. If you get an OTP from a transaction code, if a hacker gets that OTP, you are gone. Your all money is gone from your account. So what we do is in the cyber security, the main three goals of the cyber security is to okay. The three goals of cybersecurity is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So what do we understand by the confidentiality? It is keeping sensitive data private. Of course, no one wants their sensitive data to be public, right? And second is integrity. Integrity is the consistency of data that no unauthorized user can use or access or edit your data. Suppose I'm a hacker and I have access to your data. I can edit it. I can do whatever I want with it. So the next time when you go and you check your data, the integrity of the data is not there. Someone has misused it or someone has edited it. Okay. Third is availability. Availability is the user that can freely access the system whenever he wants. by his will. Just think about it. You have logged into your Google account and you don't find or you don't get access to your Google account. So there is the lack of availability in that. So what we do over here is we concentrate on the CIA, which is the confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So these are our main goals. Okay, so cybersecurity cases in India. From the past decades, you can see the chart. The crime rate of cybersecurity has increased a lot. So this is the one of the reason why everyone should know how to use your mobile perfectly, how to secure your data, how to secure your privacy. As you can see over here, India is ranked third among the nation facing most cyber threats. Yeah, India is in third ranks, guys. So why it's happening today? Why everyone is facing this issue? As you can see, the number of smartphone users or the number of internet users have increased rapidly. We can say that the smartphones are cheap now and everyone has access to it. We all have a Google Pay account, a banking account, or any account. We have our personal data on our phones. We have doing financial transaction and everything. We have sensitive information. So we have to stay ahead of the bad guys. So you have to know how to protect your data. So these are some common cyber crimes that we are going to see in today's workshop. Phishing emails, phishing scams, and everything. So what is phishing? Phishing is actually when a hacker, what he do is he will create the same replica image of the Facebook account. Just take an example like a Facebook account. So here you have Facebook account, which is the original one. Okay, so what the hacker will do, he will give you a different URL or the other URL which he has defaced the web system. So he will give you a URL something like this. So over here you can see directly see the URL of the Facebook account. It is not correct, right? So if you give your username and password, the password and username will directly get to the hacker. And this is the real Facebook account, as you can see. So how you can check whether the account, whether the Facebook is real or not. So over here you can see
Yeah.
the secure connection. Yeah, right. So
Excuse me, Jayesh. I
yeah,
think your screen is not it's still on phishing.
sorry. Okay,
The
okay,
screen.
okay, okay. Wait.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So as you can see, the Facebook page over here, okay, the URL of the Facebook page, you can check over here that it's not a facebook.com, but it's something else. So what you have to do is you always have to check the security, whether the connection is secure or not, whether it is certified by HTTPS. So this is how you will know that the website is the real one. Okay. Yeah. So this one. Yeah. The next one is phishing calls, the banking frauds. Most of us, all of us have gone to this thing where a bank manager calls you and he will ask you for the OTP and he will say that your account has been disabled or something like that. So they will ask you for the credit card number, the debit card number. They will ask for the OTP they send. So you have to, sorry, you're talking. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so the phishing calls. So what I was talking about, the bank manager will call you and they will tell you that they are calling from the XSX bank and they want you to provide them information about credit card or debit card or anything like that. So what they will do, bluff, they will play the bluff game and they will hack you like anything, and your all money is gone. The one of the next thing is online sale of illegal articles. Guys, this has been the worst thing which we are dealing with now. So basically, all the illegal articles which we can sell or buy online, it is done in the dark web. So I'm going to cover the topic of dark web tomorrow in the tomorrow's session. The theft or confidential information, the data theft, guys. Just imagine your all the personal data is gone to some random guy. So how you can use it? Just think about your Aadhaar card is gone, your PAN card or your election card, anything that you have saved in your phone, in your Gmail account or anywhere. Person can create a new identity for himself and he can use it anywhere he wants. ATM card fraud. So this attack is mostly like physically also in the online. The physical one is like what you do is you go to a ATM and there is an extra scanner that is attached to a ATM machine. So when you put your card into that, what the scanner will do is it will scan all the credentials, all the your ATM number and everything, and it will store the password of yours. And also what we can do by the logically is whenever you put your ATM number or anything in the sites in the website while doing online purchase and all, people can capture that data and they can use for their own comfort. So some of the other common cyber crimes are cyberbullying. So most of the students are from the Nirmala College, so which are going to be a teacher in some time. So you have to check whether how your students are doing, what they are doing on online. You have to check the systems because cyberbullying is one of the greatest, what you can say, it's the most common thing now in the cyber crimes. The people are bullying each other, the students are bullying each other. They make their photos or they will make the memes of any guy, any girl. So yeah, you have to check for the cyberbullying. You have to check your students what they are doing. Installing keyloggers. So installing keyloggers, it is what uh, when someone has installed a software on your system or other system. So whenever you type any keys, so whenever you type any keys, so the guy can access your data. They can see anything, what you're doing, what you're typing, and everything else. Cyber terrorism. Most of the guys, what they do is they are preparing for the cyber wars, the cyber attacks and all. Online gambling. Online gambling, you can see now everyone is playing Teen Patti and that what it is the game. All the card games and all what they do, the betting, they are doing the betting online on cricket, on football matches everywhere. This is also one of the common cybercrime we can see. DOS attacks. DOS attacks are the denial of service attacks. Oh, here what a hacker will do, he will send some packets to the server and the packets will be sent continuously. So what over here it will happen is the server will get blocked. So the none of the clients can communicate with the server. Cyber stalking. In cyber stalking, what happens is just imagine you are on Instagram or Facebook and someone is watching you. he's tracking, he's keeping all tracks of your where you're going, what you're eating, and everything. So it is a dangerous because nowadays what teenagers are doing, they will put everything from day to the night. What they are doing, they will put it on Instagram, they will put it on their WhatsApp status. So there is some stalker guys who is seeing all your activities, who is noticing you what you are doing time to time. Okay. So here are some basic security awareness that you should do to protect yourself from this type of common attacks. Whenever you are connecting to a Wi-Fi device, just make sure that it is an authorized Wi-Fi access, and you know that it is your own. And on your phone, just use the auto lock features. Most of the guys, they don't use auto lock features. This is a simple This is a simple trick that you should play, because if you keep your mobile anywhere and you just go, anyone can access your phone. Even for minutes, your data will be gone. They will upload it or they will send it to themselves. Download apps from authorized app stores only. Yeah, this is one of the main common problem everywhere. What guys will do, they will download a free app from a Play Store, not from the Play Store, but from a local websites or anything like that. So what these guys will do is they will put a malware into it, and whenever the app is installed on your phone, so what it will do, you never go through the permissions what you are giving them, what you're giving to the apps. You just do, yeah, install, yeah, okay, 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 that's it. But you don't know what the app is doing, what it is taking from it. So just see whether the apps, what you are downloading it from the authorized app store only. Use privacy option provided by various operating system. So there are some privacy option. It is available in every Android phone or every device. So just use it. Do not accept calls from weird numbers. So nowadays people have started doing the internet calling and everything. So what they will do, they will call you from different numbers like 533 or 0 or 1 or anything like that. If you don't know the number, if you don't have anything, then please don't use it. Also, people are using apps like Truecaller and all. So what Truecaller does is they will take all the access of your phone contacts and they will store it in their database. So this is how it will work. Yeah, so guys, do you want to have any questions?
Uh, Sir, this is my first question. Can you just show us how Truecaller app stores your data? One participant wants to know how Truecaller app stores your data and how it works.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so basically what happens is uh, whenever you install a Truecaller app, okay, so just the next time when you go through that app, just check the permission you have given to it. So the permission will be given to the contacts, to the storage locations and everything. So what the Truecaller app will do, when the app is installed, it will take your all the contacts data, okay, and it will store it to the backup server or the server of the Truecaller, okay, and it will do with everyone's phone like that only. And what it will make a common number. It will gather all the common number and it will store it by the same name. So whenever you are getting a call from the same number, you will notice the number of that guy or the name of that guy, which is stored by the other number or by the other person. you will always get the name like, yeah, if I call you Clifton and someone has saved your name as a Clifton Clifton Singh or anything like that. So the other person will also get the same name as Clifton Singh. The data is not actual, but it is what the other person has stored your name as. That's it. Anything else?
Yes. There is one more question
Yeah.
uh, from a participant. He says, how to identify between fake or apps and authorized apps?
Yeah. See the fake apps. What you can see, what you can do is in your Android phones there is an option. It is known as unknown resources or unknown sources. Okay, so make sure that you have unchecked that thing. Okay, because what you would do is if there is a paid version of any app that is available on the Play Store and you want to have that app, so what you will do, you will go to the Google Chrome and search for that app and you will download it. Okay, but the moment you download it, your mobile will give a prompt that it may harm your mobile device or anything. So just check the from where you are browsing it or from where you are downloading it. Okay, so see, if you are downloading it from a Google Play Store, the Google Play Store will not allow any app to have a malware content in that. So if you are downloading anything, just make sure you are downloading it from a proper app store or anything.
Yes. Okay. The next question by Mr. Amit is he wants to ask, what is cyber stalking of data and how do they operate? How did they come to know about it?
See, cyber stalking is something like it is like a personal agenda or anything like that. Okay, suppose I know a guy or a girl and he's my enemy. So what I will do is I will follow his all Facebook account or Twitter account or Instagram account, anything like that. And as I said, today's teenage, what they do, they will provide all their information. Okay, and as a cyber stalker, what I will do, I just have to keep a watch on it. Just have to keep the watch on all of his accounts, what he's doing, what he's eating. Okay, or yeah, I have to see his photos, his friends, where he's going, with whom he is going. So just like that, people they don't know. See, if I take a selfie at my home, okay, take a selfie at my home and think it as a thief. Okay, the thief will understand. Okay, how your room is, where are the entry points, where are the exit points. Think it like that. So if you are posting anything on internet, just be careful. Just be more careful about it. That's it.
Yes. This is one of the most common question asked. How safe are video conferencing apps? Basically, now online teaching, they're using Google Meet, Zoom Meet. How safe are they for usage?
Yeah. So basically, the conferencing apps are they have provided a password, they have provided an email. But what if one of a guy from your own company he has shared his details to some other guy who is non authorized or anything like that. So what you have to do is you have to make sure only the authorized users are there. As an admin, you are the admin right now. Okay, so you know who should be attending the meeting and who should not. So if there is any other unknown person, so you can directly disable them.
Uh, the next question, which is again, uh, there are many sites which have payment gateways,
Yeah.
mostly the online shopping sites.
Hmm.
How do we know which sites are safe and which are not safe.
Yeah.
So basically, the this is also posted by many participants. They want to know how safe are payment gateways.
See, mostly the payment gateways, what they do in the server, okay. So the payment gateways are always safe, okay. It's just you have to be more careful when you are buying it online, okay. You have to buy it from a valid site. Just as I showed you about this window. Mm, yeah, about the Facebook page. Okay, see, there are two Facebook pages over here. So one is a small phishing page over here. Okay, so over here I don't have any SSL certificate or HTTP certificate. Okay, so in the real Facebook account, when I go and click over here, it shows me the connection is secure. Okay, if you want to verify it again, then you can go and check over here. This is issued to facebook.com, issued by DigiCert SHA2 High Assurance Server CA. Okay, so whenever you're going it online or buying it online, just check whether this certificate is available or not. If it's not, then don't do it. Because one of my friend who was he was trying to invest in some shares and all. So he asked me just to check whether I should invest it. So the first thing I noticed was the site itself, the URL itself. Okay, it was not unsecure. It was unsecure connection. The HTTPS security service was not given, and this certificate is only provided to those URLs or those websites which are popular enough or which are the true, which are the registered ones. These certificates are provided only to them. Yeah. So always go and check this site whether it's secured or not.
Okay, Mr. Jayesh Kumar, there's one more question.
Yeah.
How safe are the online teaching apps like Zoom and Google Meet? Some of the participants also know that.
Okay. Yeah. As I told you that it's pretty safe, but what people are doing, they are providing their the meeting ID and the meeting ID passwords to everyone. What I do is basically I do is you just have to ignore that thing and you have to disable that person who is joining the thing, joining the team meetings and everything like that. Because in our company, it had happened like once where there was a unknown account or unknown user was logged into it. So what you have to do as admin, you have to remove that person.
Okay, so are you saying that we have to add an antivirus by any chance? Will it be safer to our phones as well in case if we're
Yeah.
using it?
What? See, antivirus. What? First, you have to see, check what antivirus is. Okay. So antivirus, what it will do is it will protect your system from all the malicious attacks and all. Okay. If from the virus or from the Trojan and everything like that, or the worms. So whenever you are downloading something or you are inserting a pen drive, so the first thing antivirus will do is it will detect the new device and it will scan it. Okay, if there is any Trojan available on that, so what it will do, it will automatically delete that file. It will never ask you whether I should delete this file or not. It will directly delete it.
Okay, sir. The next question is how safe are the video recording or image editing apps, or how
Okay.
do we recognize which video recording or image editing apps are safe, and what can happen, like how they can use our data?
Yeah. So before I told you like that, whenever you are installing a app on your phone, just check whether you are downloading it from a safe website or a safe app store. So what they will do, just think about it. Okay, I have downloaded an app from a web browser from any random site. Okay, just because I don't have to pay for that app, and it is available on other website for free. I install that app on my phone. Okay, I give permissions. Okay, so what we do, we never check for the permission. Okay, just think about it. A video, as you said, a video editor app or a photo editor app. The most thing it will require is a camera and the permission for the storage. But what these apps will do, they will ask for permission for your camera, for your location, for your contacts, for your media shares, file storage, everything. Okay, for your SMS also. So what they will do, whenever you are connecting to that app, okay, so it's create a connection to the other IP address which is bind to that app. So what they will do, they can access your phone directly. They can directly connect your phone. They can access your files. They can access your gallery. They can access your SMS. Basically, they have the whole control of your camera or sorry, of your phone. Yeah.
Okay, there is one more question which is coming up over here. Uh, Downloading YouTube videos with the help of online downloader, is it safe? Can you address that, Mr. Kumar?
Yeah.
Is it safe to download YouTube videos with the help
Yeah.
of online downloader?
Yeah, provided if you have a good antivirus in your mobile or in your system, you can download all these videos. But just check whether from which site you are downloading, because there are lots of sites available on the YouTube or on the Google. So you have to download it from the safer site, and also you should have a good antivirus with you on your system.
So can you give us some examples of these antivirus which we can download on our phones? So are they free or do we need to pay for them?
Yeah, see, the antivirus are available as a free trial also, but let me just tell you that a free trial antivirus is of no use. Okay, they will not do anything. They will just be on your system and they will eat your RAM and your memory. If you are going for an antivirus, go for the paid one. All antivirus are the same. Okay, there is no comparison between them. Okay, everyone just keep updating their sheets and all. Okay, so from the latest attacks, they will keep updating their sheet, and the update will come in every month or every single week or everything like that. Okay.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay, now there's one more question which is asking about the safety and security of Google Drive. How safe is Google Drive, and can we store scanned documents on Google Drive, or even Google Drive can be hacked?
Yeah.
Just a minute, Mr. Jesh. I'd like to add on to that question.
Yeah.
Now, since most of them are Android users,
Yeah.
it's the most recurring question, like how safe are the Google apps? So
Yeah.
Drive, Gmail, even photos, how safe it is, and what precautions should be taken while using Drive or photos. Now,
Okay.
there's most of our photos are uploaded to Google Photos. So, what precautions should be taken?
Okay. So you must know there is a security privacy or a security option is already provided by the Google, that you have to do a two-step authentication. So most of the people don't use it. They just skip it because it will take more time, that you have to enter your password, then again you have to go to your phone, you have to enter that number. So you have to use it because security is the main concern. Okay, and especially when you have your photos, your data online. So you have to take, yeah, so you have to take precautions for that. Just go and do for the two-step authentication. Okay, so the um, one guy asked me about security for Google Drives. Okay, so what we do is, whenever you are posting some PDF files or document files, what you can do is you can directly add a password. You can, yeah, you can do password protection for it. Yeah. Yeah, and you can send that password to someone else via WhatsApp or
Mr.
some
Jesh,
other different means. Yeah.
yeah, would it be possible to show us a demo how to add passwords to the file?
Yeah, actually, I don't have that software right now, but I will cover it
Yeah,
in tomorrow's session. Yeah.
okay. The
Okay, Mr. Jay, just one more question. It
Yeah.
is more related to banking. Okay,
Yeah.
now when we
Okay.
transfer money from bank account, from our bank account to any other bank account,
Yeah.
uh, is it safe? How safe it is? Although they say it is HTTPS, although that security provision is given, but how safe it is and what precaution can we take to transfer money? And follow-up question to that is that these days there are issues regarding Google Pay account,
Yeah.
and many people are saying it's an insecure app. So even banks are telling the same thing. So how can we make sure that funds are not at risk when we are using these platforms?
Okay. Yeah. Because recently the news came that Google Pay is not a verified app. Okay. So the verified app or anything is anything like a verified is your own personal bank account. Okay. So what you can do is you can, if you have a bank account in Bank of Baroda. Okay, so what you can do, you can go online and download that app. Okay, and from there you can make the transaction. Suppose if the transaction is failed in Google Pay or in the Phone Pay or any other app. Okay, so you will go, what you will do, you will go for the bank and you will tell them that my transaction is failed and my money is not coming back. So the bank will directly give you only one answer, that that is not my problem. Okay, then you will go for the police station. They will also say, tell you the same thing. Then you have to go and contact Google Pay account or anything. So the best and the secure way is you should use the same bank account app from which account you have, or you can do the net banking thing. Net banking thing is the most safest way.
You mean to say the bank's websites?
Yeah, the bank websites.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
how will it be like in case if you use other operating systems like Ubuntu for online payments?
Sorry, I didn't get your question.
If in case if you use some other operating system
Yeah.
like Ubuntu,
Yeah.
okay, for online payment, will that help to increase the security?
No, it's not the same thing. See, when you are paying online, okay, so the thing you have to see is from where you are paying it. Okay, on which portal you are paying it. Okay, if you are doing a net banking to your father or to your mother, okay, just go on the say on the site of the bank and just add all the details and just send it. The operating system, if you are using Ubuntu, that doesn't mean you have to do the same steps over there also.
yes, Mr. Jesh. Another question is, once we are victim of this cybercrime, what are the
Yeah.
provisions of law and how do we submit a complaint, or under which act, or how do we go about submitting the complaint?
Okay. So what you have to do is uh, in your locality. Okay, there is one cyber cell will be there. I think in Goa there is in Old Goa or something. Okay, so you have to go there and you have to tell what is happened with you. And mm, if there is a banking transaction or banking fraud is happened, okay, so if you go there in the cyber cell and you will make a complaint, so first thing they will ask is how much was the money. Okay, so you will tell, yeah, it was about 2000. So the cyber crime, they will now take that complaint, they will tell you to go to the normal police station. So over there you have to go and complain the file. But if the money is exceeding 5000 or something, then the complaint will be taken and you can see the results in maybe 1 or 2 weeks.
Another question which is popping up regarding this only, is there
Yeah,
any online forum where we can complain, or online platform where we can register cybercrime?
yeah, you can directly go to goapolice.com.
Yeah,
In the
can you please show us a demo of it?
Yeah, I'll check. Okay, so check here. Open another tab also. Okay, so the only information is provided over here. So what you can do, you can directly call them and yeah, you can lodge a complaint over it. Hello?
Yes, yes, Mr. Jesh.
Yeah.
The next question, how to keep our mobile phone safe and which are the best antivirus softwares available? If you can elaborate on it.
The best antivirus softwares, okay.
For the mobile phones.
Yeah, yeah. See, what we can see over here is most of the softwares are like Norton and McAfee. Okay. So when you go for the antivirus, it's like same. Okay. I just will tell you to go for the paid version, not for the free version. Okay. People they will download a C cleaner app or the cleaning apps and all, thinking that it will remove the virus also. But no, guys, you have to pay for a good service. Am I right? See, over here we have Norton and Bitdefender and McAfee also. You can go from the ratings.
Mr. Jesh, can you please show us some fake antivirus apps also which are there so participants can be safe next time?
The antivirus apps.
Yeah, fake antivirus apps.
Fake antivirus, whenever you go for a non-paid antivirus, okay, when I say you, just let me check. I will tell you one antivirus. Okay, as you can see over here, there are lots of antivirus available. Okay, and if I can't say the name because it is a one of the policy violation also. So I can't take any company's name over here. So just check because see, you can directly see by the icon and by the name of the antivirus that you can't install anything or anything you want. Okay, whenever you go, okay, just think that it is not a free version. Okay, what the free version will do, it will take all your RAM, all your data, okay, and it will make your phone slow. So the next time when you go for the antivirus, just go for the main, like asset is there, Norton is there, then Kaspersky is there. You can go for all this type of antivirus.
Yes, there is a question from participants saying regarding operating systems. There is Windows, there is Linux, there is DOS. So, are certain operating systems safe, or they are most of them, or all are of equal, like they are prone to virus attacks?
See, when we talk about virus, okay, the Linux systems are good because they are completely made on the C and C++ language. Okay, so we can call it as a Linux as a virus free. But what happens is for a normal user like a student or anyone who don't know about a Linux, okay, so there are scripts running behind it. So that's why we don't prefer users to use the Linux systems or the Ubuntu system. And everyone, they normally go for the Windows system itself because the UI is easy to use. Okay, it's like that. So if you want to use, okay, the best I will tell you is to go to the Ubuntu system.
One more question from the participants. Since most of them are there for education, can we download and use YouTube videos without copyright violations for educational purpose, or is it a crime to use online videos?
See, if you are using it for education purposes, okay, so it doesn't affect for the crime as a crime, okay. So what you can do is you can directly download it, okay, you can use it, but it will be a crime if you upload it on your YouTube channel without the permission or the consent of that the owner of that guy, owner of that video. Okay, so
Yeah.
if you are downloading it and using, it's well and good. But if you are but again you are in uploading it on YouTube on your name by your name, then that will be considered as a policy violation.
Yes, so we can download any videos or any online material, and for educational purpose, there
Yeah,
is no copyright violation. But
no,
we
no,
cannot use it for commercial purpose.
yeah, exactly.
We'll take few more questions. So this question is, normally when we download antivirus apps, it's very difficult to delete them when we want to change from one platform to another. So how to do it?
Sorry, I didn't get your question.
Whenever we download any antivirus, now if you have, for example, you are using Quick Heal.
Yeah,
So sometimes we have want to move to another antivirus platform.
yeah.
So it's very difficult to delete the first antivirus which was installed. So
Okay.
it keeps on popping up. So how to delete that antivirus?
Okay, so what you have to do is whenever the first antivirus what you have installed, okay, so what it will do in the background, it is always scanning your folder and all your drives. So it is the running process. So what you have to do is you have to stop that antivirus. Okay, you can pause it or you can stop the antivirus, you can disable it. Then you have to go to the program files and you have to uninstall the app. So that time it will directly uninstall it and you can install the new version of it or any other antivirus.
Uh, Now this is from our side. There was a recent movie on Netflix called Jamtara. So it was
Okay.
a show, and can you maybe elaborate on that movie and your express your views on that movie? So
Okay.
that movie I covered about fishing.
Okay.
Yes.
Actually, I have not seen that movie, but yeah, you are talking about fishing, right?
Yeah, in Jamtara.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, fishing is a very you can say any guy can do that. Okay, if someone who knows the code, who knows how to code and how to make a website, anyone can do that phishing. So basically, what we do over here is in the phishing page, what we will do, we will take a real code, a real website code, okay, and we'll put our small little code which will redirect your page to some other different URL. Or what I will do, I will take your login credentials and I will save it with my website or on my server. So the next time when what I'll do, I can directly, the hacker can directly log in as the, I mean, what you can say, as a authenticated person. So whenever you're logging in, just check whether the site is secured or not.
We are taking a final question for the day. So, Mr. Jayesh, can you please explain your views on young teachers? Now, most of our audience is teachers. When they are going online, how to be safe and what precautions they are taking. If you can sum up what precautions they should take while teaching online.
Okay, yeah. So this is actually a good question because half of the, I think, viewers are your teachers only. So what you have to do is, the first thing is just make sure, okay, that you are connected to a known Wi-Fi. Okay, suppose you are connected to a free Wi-Fi, okay, where you can directly, where there is no password or nothing like that. So what the hackers do is they will go in public, okay, and they will start a Wi-Fi connection, okay, that is without password, and most of the people fall for that thing. Okay, they will go inside that, they will connect to that Wi-Fi, and they will start browsing it. They will start using their personal accounts. They will start buying online. Okay, so behind that, what hacker is doing, he's monitoring your all the traffics. Okay, so he's capturing all your data, what your all keystrokes, your all login credentials and everything. So try avoiding to connect it to a public Wi-Fi. Next thing I want to tell is, as they are the teachers, okay, they will make question papers and everything. So as I told, you have to use password protected PDF or password protected Word documents. That I will cover it in the next topic. And all the rest what I've spoken till yet. Yeah, these are the basic things what you should do on everyday purpose. Okay, you should update your mobile, you should update your antivirus, everything like that.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Mr. Jayesh. Well, it would be very kind of you if you can just throw some light or give us an overview about tomorrow's session, exactly
Yeah,
what
yeah.
we'll be speaking on, so
So
that our
tomorrow,
participants also can be prepared for that.
yeah, so tomorrow what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to send a fake emails, okay, how to send SMS bombers. So tomorrow's session is kind of a more practical thing because today was just the introduction for cybersecurity. So tomorrow I'm gonna show you how to create a phishing web page and how to use it. So it's like a more practical session tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jayesh, for your time, for sparing your valuable time and talking to our participants and to us. It was indeed an informative and enriching session, no doubt about that. And I'm sure most of the questions that were asked by our participants have been answered. If at all there are any questions which have not been answered, which we could not pick up, we will try and take them up tomorrow. And we ensure that we try and address all your queries that you have put up on on YouTube. Okay, thank you to all the participants for joining us. It was indeed a pleasure to have all of you with us on behalf of Nirmala Institute of Education. We are thankful to all of you. We look forward to your company tomorrow as well. Thank you. God bless you.